Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp, Harr. This morning I have two executives in the flooring business, Doug Davis, the president of Artisan Design Group, and Andy Hogan, the senior vice president of category management with the Artisan Design Group. How you guys doing this morning?
Fantastic, Kemp. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks, Kemp.
Good to talk to you. Doug, it's been a long time since we've caught up. We probably should have talked a little bit more, because now I think the number of acquisitions that Artisan Design Group has done is at 23. And the last time we interviewed, I believe it was 16. So you've continued to add some contractors, mostly flooring contractors, as components of your group. Primary reason for talking today is Andy's decision to leave as CEO of the FEI Group and to come over in this role. One thing I would like to point out is to talk about the size and scope of your organization. Floor Focus did our top 100 dealer list back in November, and we had you at number 4 at $1.5 billion in flooring sales. So that's an impressive size company.
Yes, sir. As you mentioned, Kemp, we've definitely had a lot of growth through acquisition, and not only in flooring, but also in other components of the home, cabinets and countertops, which has been a big growth category for us as a company. We finished last year at just flooring alone about $1.65 billion flooring, and then the remainder of our growth has been in cabinets and countertops.
A little bit more quick history on this. Doug, you've been president for 5 years. Actually started at Mohawk, and interestingly enough, Andy started at Mohawk as well. I think Andy was at Mohawk a little bit earlier. Most of the companies that were acquired were FEI Group members, which is kind of interesting. So everybody knows everybody has for a long time. This got started back in December of 16 when Larry Barr with Floors Inc. had the idea of pulling this together. So 23 acquisitions later, you've got a national footprint. One of the things in previous interviews you pointed out is you like to bring in these entrepreneurial run companies and have them kind of working together. Is that still kind of the business model?
Yeah, absolutely, Kemp. I mean, you take Larry Barr and Wayne Joseph, who merged their two businesses back together in December of 2016. The 23 acquisitions you referenced over the last 6 years have, one, been, like-minded businesses that a lot of them were in Floor Expo. Some of them were not. But the ones that were not in Floor Expo, we've brought them to the group because we just see the value in the organization and what they do and what they bring, and connectivity that we're able to gather, with our 23 acquisitions along with all the other members of FEI.
And Kemp, part of that entrepreneurial spirit that you brought up, the majority of the previous owners are still, and the management teams are still intact since the acquisition occurred.
Now, since the last time you and I talked, Doug, the CEO has changed. You've got Steve Margolis now as the CEO of the organization, right?
Yes, Larry and Wayne moved to our board of directors, still are actively involved in the business. But Steve Margolis has come in. Matter of fact, this week is his 1-year anniversary, and he's done a phenomenal job of bringing additional talent and some different experiences from his background to Artisan Design Group, which has been a very positive for the company.
All right, and you funded most of the pulling together of this organization. You started with Dooms Point, and now you're owned by a private equity organization called the Sterling Group, right?
Yes, sir. Sterling Group, based out of Houston, Texas. Great group of guys, really involved in our business. They've really given us the components necessary to be able to grow the company and, bring on talented people just like Andy.
They're no strangers to the flooring business. They've grown some other flooring companies. So let's talk about the builder business. So most people know, with interest rates where they are, it's gotten a little softer. Tell us a little bit about the builder business.
Yeah, there's definitely some headwinds that we've been challenged with. After we went through probably the greatest builder environment that we've enjoyed in our career last year. Now we're facing some significant headwinds with, increased interest rates. Pricing obviously has moved up, and it's caused some challenges to the business. But I think we've done a good job as an organization managing through it. We're definitely not at the end of it. We definitely see some slowdown ahead of us. We've enjoyed a very good first quarter in our business, but another reason that we're trying to diversify our company. We obviously are very heavy in single family, but also are very heavy in multifamily new construction, as well as the property management side of the business, and continue wanting to grow that as well.
Okay, so let's move to the news of the hour, and that's Andy, your decision to come join this group. Tell us a little bit about that.
Kemp, I was with FEI for 25 years. It was not an easy decision, of course, to leave FEI to come to ADG. But when you go up to 20,000 feet and think about the succession plan in place, that's current today at FEI. It's one of the strongest management teams. So proud of the guys and gals that are in Marietta at the FEI headquarters. But what ADG presented to me was an opportunity. This year, we're going to get even bigger. We're going to grow via acquisition, and we need to streamline certain things. And so they presented some opportunities on the procurement side, mainly in flooring, but we need to streamline that. We can grow together. We can buy together. We can have SKU reduction. We can add value on the supply side. There's so much opportunity that ADG has to add to the bottom line, to add to our margin. And so far, so good. I'm very excited about the opportunity here.
Yeah, let me add one more quick thing. It was actually you and Dave Giesling. You were the first two members of Floor Expo when it got started 24 some years ago. And when you left Mohawk, you went over and worked at Abbey for a couple of years and kind of learned a little bit about the whole buying group. And I think your early roles under Dave was exactly what you're doing here, right? As far as procurement and pulling the organization together.
Hey, Kemp, you nailed it. My first title was Chief Product Officer many, many years ago, dealing with supply, dealing with SKU reduction. But one of the big things about FEI that ADG is still very involved with FEI is FEI has always been known to be a steward in the industry, making things better in our little corner of the world, and FEI is continuing to do that, and we want to be part of that. ADG truly wants to be involved in that, and FEI has always been about the members and the operators, and that they've got the best operators in the country.
Have they backfilled your role over there?
Not yet. I think they're looking, and time will tell.
Okay, so this decision was made, and you've been here just a couple of weeks. Most people know this organization is based in Texas. Are you going to stay in the Atlanta area or move into Texas?
I live in Ackworth, Georgia. I'm going to stay there, but I'll be in Dallas several times a month, and then flying all over the country to see our divisions and seeing supply and seeing how we can add more value throughout the supply chain and with our division heads.
I mentioned, Doug, we hadn't talked in a while, and I'd like to stay on top of these acquisitions. I got a little teaser there that you're getting ready to announce some other ones. So I guess there's more in the pipeline, right?
Yes, sir. We were actively moving as far as M&A goes around the organization. We didn't make any acquisitions in 2022. We definitely have a pipeline of key acquisitions for our business moving into 2023.
Okay, guys. Well, I appreciate you spending time with us and talking about Andy's new role at the Artisan Design Group. Again, been talking to Doug Davis, the president, and Andy Hogan, the senior vice president of category management. And you've listened to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.